2024 has just started, so it's time for way too early 2025 predictions for the Cedar Fair chain. First, when will Cedar Fair and Six Flags actually merge into one company? This is rumored to happen early this year, and if I had to guess, it will be complete by the time that most of the parks in the chain open for the year, in about April. If I had to guess a date, I'm thinking sometime in March, probably from the 22nd to the 25th, if I had to guess. Now to the parks, and we're going to start off in Mason, Ohio with Kings Island, which I wish I could say was getting a coaster, but with Kings Dominion and Canada's Wonderland getting new coasters, the only way this happens is if they go to American manufacturer Rocky Mountain Construction, who can give you your best coaster at a cheaper price tag. But as of right now, I'm placing my bets that Kings Island gets a Vekoma Top Gun coaster in 2026. So what will they get in 2025? Well, probably a decent sized addition to the water park, probably replacing Pipeline Paradise. This could be a new slide complex or a water coaster. Each would work great for the park. Now let's head a few hours down the road to Sandusky, Ohio for Cedar Point. This park will probably not do much of anything because they just improved the boardwalk area and are opening Top Thrill 2 in 2024, which definitely was not cheap. I'm guessing at a price tag of $10 to $20 million. So if I had to guess, they will not add anything in 2025, but they may hire Gravity Group to retrack Blue Streak, which would really help the coaster. Now let's get some of the smaller parks out of the way. First, Worlds of Fun, just opening a new coaster in 2023, so they most likely won't get anything, but if they do, it will probably be some Zamperla flat rides or a wooden free track for one of their coasters. Now to Michigan's Adventure, and I don't see this park getting anything other than a new trash can or maybe a bench, but luckily for them, California's Great America is closing, so they can hold out hope for a coaster, like Railblazer, coming from there. But honestly, a Gravity Group retrack for Shivering Timbers could be great, because I've heard that it's getting rough. Now, for the final smaller park that won't get anything, Dorney Park. They're opening Iron Menace in 2024, so it makes no sense to add anything to the park in 2025. Now to a smaller park that could get something, Valley Fair. Cedar Fair has shown love to their smaller parks over the last few years, so could Valley Fair be next? Well, maybe. The only coaster I could see them getting is something small, like a Zamperla Double Heart coaster, or maybe a family coaster, like a Vekoma Family Launch coaster, something like Big Bear Mountain, or maybe a Gravity Group shuttle wooden coaster, like Switchback. Now to another larger park that most likely is not getting anything new in 2025, Knott's Berry Farm. They just upgraded their kids area, Camp Snoopy, adding a few new rides and a new roller coaster. So 2025 does not seem like the year for Knott's because they don't have much room to work with. But in 2026 or 2027, I think Knott's could get a massive coaster like a B&M Hyper or maybe even a Giga. But we still have to wait to see on that. Now to the three most likely parks to get a new coaster, starting with the least likely park, Carowinds. Let's start by talking about Hurler, their wooden roller coaster, which has had a lot of track and supports ripped out of it. So could it be getting the Iron Horse treatment? Maybe. And if it is for 2025, starting now could make some sense. But I don't see that happening, and it's most likely a Gravity Group retrack or maybe a Titan Track retrack. But if they get a new coaster, it will most likely be a family coaster, or maybe a Mack Power Splash or Intamin Ultra Surf. But the Mack Power Splash is most likely because who knows when we will see Cedar Fair and Intamin work together once again. Now starting off with the parks that are basically confirmed to get new coasters, with the first one being Kings Dominion, getting a launch wing coaster to replace Volcano the Blast Coaster, which would be one of their best coasters and should help fill a void that was left by Volcano back when the coaster closed during the 2018 season. Now to the final part, Canada's Wonderland. And there's two things we need to talk about. First, their wooden roller coaster, Wild Beast, which has recently been labeled with three letters, RMC, and has markings on parts of the layout. So what does this mean? Well, I'm not really sure, because the park has not said anything about the coaster, but if I had to take a guess on what they are doing, I think they're giving the ride some 208 track for the 2024 season, which seems weird because they have a good relationship with DCI. So I'm shocked that they would not go with the Titan track, but Canada's Wonderland has been used as a testing ground. So maybe they are testing the 208 track, or maybe just testing RMC in general for a future project. Now let's get into what they are actually rumored to get, and that is a new B&M roller coaster in Wonder Mountain, which will either be a launch invert or wing coaster, and looks to launch out of the mountain very similar to what Volcano once did. If I'm a Kings Dominion fan, I would be upset because of how similar this coaster could be to Volcano, but in another park. This should be one of their best coasters and help them have a great 2025. Give me your thoughts on my prediction and tell me what you think each Cedar Fair park will get in 2025. Bye, guys. See you all next time.